So for those of you for those of you just tuning in, we are standing by for the command of the undocking sequence. Again, this is an autonomous sequence that Dragon performs once commanded to do so.
Undock sequence commanded.
And right on time. There's that call we were standing by for to basically command Dragon to begin the undocking sequence. With Dragon now getting ready to undock, let's head over to Leah in Mission Control at Johnson Space Center.
Thanks, Kate. And as you mentioned, and as we heard the core and
Umbilical
crew
demate
confirm,
complete
the
and nominal.
undock has been Undock has been commanded, and the umbilical, which provided power to Dragon from the International Space Station, has been detached as well. Now the undock command has been sent. However, we are standing by. This process takes a few minutes. This is a process of 2 sets of 6 hooks each, so 12 hooks in total that we'll need to retract. Those first set of hooks are in motion. We will be looking for a confirmation when that's complete before the second set begins retracting as well. Standing by for undock burns 1 and 2.
All hooks open and nominal.
Copy, see the same.
And Dragon separation is confirmed.
At 6:05 a.m. Central Time, and after 184 days on the International Space Station, Dragon has departed the orbiting laboratory, traveling 256 statute miles over the Pacific Ocean.
Depart burn 0 complete.
We saw the 2 successful undock burns, 1 and 2, again, both of the undock burns just a couple of seconds long, as well as confirmation that the depart burn is complete as well. And with the successful undocking, again, that coming at 6:05 a.m. Central Time, right on time, Dragon, Endeavour, and Crew-6 begin their journey back to Earth. We're still monitoring from the International Space Station Flight Control Room here in Houston, but to give us perspective from the other side of the operations, I'll toss it back to Gary and Kate in Hawthorne.
All right, thank you, Leah, for taking us through that. Yeah, we had physical separation right on time, 4:05 a.m. Pacific Time, 7:05 a.m. Eastern Time. You can see we're at a nighttime view as the station and Dragon pass over the Pacific Ocean. So we're just seeing the through the middle window there, inside the lit cabin inside the Dragon, as well as the navigation lights, starboard being green and port being red, as Dragon increases its separation distance from the International Space Station, about 45 meters, and going back. Depart 0 after the 2 undocking burns to physically separate and increase the distance from the docking ring. Depart 0 will send Dragon outside the keep out sphere. Keep out sphere has its own set of rules, is a line about 200 meters away from the International Space Station, so we'll get right outside of that, and we'll wait towards depart burn 1. Depart burn 1 will send Dragon outside the approach ellipsoid. You can see the graphic here. Dragon's trajectory will take it zenith. It'll take it above the International Space Station, and from there it will slow down until it executes Depart Burn 2, which allows the Dragon to decrease its altitude and get to a trajectory about 10 kilometers below the International Space Station in a co-elliptic orbit. For this particular trajectory to meet up with the landing location, the prime location of Jacksonville, Florida, the trajectory allows for 5 departure burns. So we'll see that executed over the next 17 hours until splashdown. We do have a correction to that splashdown time. We're aiming for 12:17 a.m. Eastern Time, which is 9:17 p.m. Pacific Time. And that's again off the coast of Jacksonville, Florida. Continuing to increase separation distance, we're at about 78 meters from the International Space Station.
I love this view that we have. It might be a little confusing if you're just looking at it wondering what all the dots are. The lights that we see actually moving on screen is Dragon itself. The red and green represent the port and the starboard side. That white light in the center is actually an interior light shining through the forward hatch of the capsule. So if we would have been able to perform a fly-around maneuver, that is actually one of the windows that they would have been using to take photos.
That's right, and with the nighttime views, you can actually see some of the pixels that have been, they're actually dead pixels. They sort of look like very colorful, Christmassy light stars, but it's actually dead pixels on the camera that have been hit by some radiation in space. And this is pretty normal for some of the cameras that we see in space. There's actually programs within the camera that allow there's software within it that allow us to fix some of the imperfections of those pixels. But those are not stars. Those are pixels of the camera.
So for those of you that have recently joined the webcast, the Crew-6 crew are there inside Dragon that we see on screen. They are in their spacesuits. They are in their seats. It's been a long morning stepping through all the checks in preparation for the event that we just had, which was Dragon separation. We also executed the first of our 5 departure burns, and we're now standing by for departure burn 1. We're expecting that around 4:10, which is right now, a.m. Pacific. So there's this graphic that we have to kind of give you an idea of the different areas that we're looking at when we're talking about the International Space Station, what it takes to depart. This is an awesome view. You can actually see lights from those Draco thrusters as they fire.
That's Depart Burn 1. It's about a 21-second burn, and you can see it executing right now. Great to have this nighttime shot to actually see those Draco thruster firings.
Absolutely.
We hear Depart Burn 1 is complete and nominal. That's a good Depart Burn 1. Again, that sends a trajectory of Dragon outside the keep out sphere and approach ellipsoid. We'll continue our coverage until Dragon exits the approach ellipsoid, which will end joint operations between the Dragon and Dragon teams here in Hawthorne and the International Space Station Flight Control teams in Houston.
Dragon SpaceX on the big loop. Depart Burn 1 is complete and nominal, and with that, you are go to doff your suits per procedure 4.012, and I'll go ahead and take the cameras external. And just a reminder that ground will be deactivating the big loop following exit from the approach ellipsoid.
Copies moving into suit doffing, spacing for the cameras, and thank you, ISS. It's been an amazing 6 months. It's Crew-7 and 69 Soyuz, continue Expedition 69 and into 70. Enjoy your visit, and we'll talk to you back on Earth.
And Dragon Station, we copy. We're going to miss you guys, but it's good to see you go and get back to your families. Great job on the mission. Godspeed, and we'll see you splashing down safely here in about 17 hours. Great job.